You may be wondering why, after everything that you've gone through with the narcissist or the toxic person in your life, why you may be missing them, longing for them, or possibly even craving them. And I want you to know it's completely natural and it's human. But we can talk about it though, so let's get into it. Loved ones, welcome back to the channel as always, and thank you so much for watching. Much appreciation and respect as always. I want to get right into the topic discussion, all right, with no delay. Why you may be craving the toxic or narcissistic person in your life, why you may be missing them after everything that's happened. I want you all to know that it's natural to feel that way, and we'll kind of unpack and break down why you may be feeling that way. But before we get into the topic discussion, I would like to preface my comments as always by saying I am not a clinical professional. I'm not a psychoanalyst. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm none of those. I'm just a woman who is sharing of herself based on my own personal experience. And I'm not telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I know based on my personal experience. All right. This video is not designed to harm or trigger anyone. It's not designed to upset anyone. It's just about sharing information and allowing us to feel seen and heard about the things that we've experienced, our own unique experiences. All right, so let's uplift one another and we'll dive right into the topic. If you simply look at the connection that you had with the toxic or narcissistic person from the scope of the treatment that you got, right? From the manipulation, the lies, the loneliness, the sadness, the gaslighting and projection, just the confusion of it, right? From the viewpoint of the three phases, the love bomb, the devaluation, and the discard, then it would be easy to feel like you should just be able to walk away, right? It would make sense for you to think, why would I even care about this person still at all? Why am I even having feelings for this person? How could I possibly be missing somebody that hurt me so much? How could I be longing for someone who mistreated me? Why do I have curiosity about how it is that they're doing or what's going on in their life? Like, I get it. It makes sense, right? If you look at it from the perspective of the treatment that you got. But see, what I want to remind us of is that we weren't in the connection for the same reasons. We weren't operating the same way within that connection. All right. We were having two totally different experiences within that connection. And that's a part of the reason why you could possibly still be missing the person who hurt you so much, you know? And it makes sense. It's human. It's human. You were in the process of laying a foundation. See, from where you sit, you were under the impression that you were building something. You were building a bond. You were creating a connection with someone. And that was happening. And that's not only biological and chemical, it's also spiritual. You know, we were not made as human beings to be alone. We're supposed to be connecting with one another. We're supposed to be loving on one another. We're supposed to be, you know, going on these journeys together and creating bonds, whether they be platonic friendship, you know, with our kinfolks and, you know, relatives, loved ones, but also, you know, romantic and intimate relationships. That's a part of what makes this life worth living. That's a part of what makes this life so full. And as always, this isn't about division, separation, comparison. You know, this is just me speaking on my experience. And it's like, I don't want to make anyone feel targeted. I don't want to bring too much into the experience, like your religious background or your upbringing, or, you know, even your gender or how you present, you know, your preferences as far as how you date and how you connect, or the nature of your relationship with your family member, because this isn't about that. I don't want to get, you know, lost in the minute details about it. This is just speaking from one human to another. We're talking about connections on a human level, all right? And it's real. It's real, the bonds that we're developing with people as we move around in the world, or at least that's probably our point of view about it. You know, that's definitely, you know, what I aim to do, and what I look to do is build authentic connections with people and maintain the connections that are such a big part of my life in a way that's healthy. Again, us loving one another is a part of what makes life enjoyable and what makes life feel full. It's an opportunity for us to give and receive our energy in a way that's healthy and to be inspired and to inspire other people, right? That's one of the best feelings in the world, I would say, is to be able to like draw inspiration from other people and to be able to inspire other people. You know, I've learned as of late that I feel like inspiration is my love language. You know, it really gives me something, or uplifts me, or energizes me in a special way when I feel inspired by something or someone, right? So with all that being said, because we were looking to build an authentic connection, but we came in contact with someone who wasn't looking to do the same thing, they were looking to take from you. They were taking your energy from you. They were looking to use your resources. They were looking to capitalize on you. They were looking to essentially just take and take from you. And not even just take from you. They wanted to leave you in a position where you would never want to do that again with someone else. It's deep. It's spiritual. It really is. And when we use the terms like battles and spiritual warfare, like it's really real. You know, I'm not looking to be dramatic when I say that. It's the truth. And like anything else in life, there's levels to it. No two narcissists are created equal. No toxic person is created equal. And none of us are, you know, perfect or without flaw. I accept responsibility for that. But I can say that I am an authentic individual and the intention on my heart is good as I interact with people, you know, and I'll remove myself from a situation if I'm not able to be at my best as much as I can, and I'm not able to uplift you and bring out the best in you. If we have a negative influence on each other, I will remove myself from that situation. You know, that's the type of person that I am. I always want to leave things and people better than I found them as much as I possibly can. And I find joy in that, you know, and I'm grateful for that. But because we had two different objectives within the connection that we were in with the toxic or the narcissistic person, it's harder for us to break that tie. You know, it's harder for us to break that bond. You know, you could have possibly even felt like you were falling in love with the person that you were with. And as you're going through these cycles, you know, the love bomb is designed to feel intoxicating. It's designed to feel extremely intense for you. But the whole time that that's happening, you know, the toxic or narcissistic person in your life is just pretending. You know, they're not enjoying that part. They really hate it. And they're really like frustrated within it a lot of times. They're very good at pretending and they act. You know, they're masterful at it. You know, they're surgical, if you will, about the steps that they're taking. And this isn't the first time that they've done it. So you got to keep that in mind. This is like muscle memory for them. By repetition, like they know exactly what to do and they know what to look for. They know what characteristics to look for in people. They're hunters and they're predators, which is how you ended up in the situation in the first place. That's a part of it. They saw characteristics within you that they wanted to capitalize on and that they wanted to manipulate and that they wanted to take advantage of. You know, they were just looking to extract from you. And it's unfortunate that on one side of the spectrum, it could be so dark and so negative. And I would even venture to say evil in a sense. But then on another side of the spectrum, maybe you were vulnerable, you know, maybe you have certain trauma from, you know, the past that you hadn't necessarily resolved, or maybe you had just come through a tough experience in life. You know, you were just looking to be loved. You were looking to give and receive some energy. You wanted companionship. You wanted friendship. You wanted an intimate or romantic connection with someone. Again, that's natural, that's chemical, and that's human. All right, we're not going to condemn ourselves for wanting that. But it's important that as we move throughout the world and we're looking to make connections, that we have our boundaries set in place and that we're not writing the narrative. We're actually observing as we go through seasons with people. We're judging them based on their fruit. We're judging them based on how they live their lives, not just what we want them to be. You know, I heard once, we don't get the person that we wanted, we get the person that we picked. And I want you to process that for a minute because it sounds so simple, but it's deep. We don't get the person that we wanted. We get the person that we picked. In other words, they are who they are. You know, the mind is remarkable. We can see the things about people that we want to see, and we can kind of dismiss and compartmentalize the things about them that we don't want to focus on, or that we choose not to see, or that we don't want to recognize about people. But it's important that we do that because as we're going through the stages and we're getting to know people and the foundation is being laid, if you see a red flag about something, it's important to call it out and take heed to it. Don't just brush it to the side. That could be the very thing that you explore with somebody, and it helps you decide whether this is going to be a healthy or safe space for you to remain in. And it doesn't mean that they're a bad person, or it doesn't mean that, you know, you're a hateful person, or you're mean, or you're even selfish. What it means is you're looking out for your best interest and theirs too. And I'm going to cover this in a video very soon in the very foreseeable future. But when we choose to stay in toxic situations and toxic relationships for too long, they have a negative effect on us as people. They have a negative effect on our character and on our personalities. So it's not so much that you're mean because you choose to find your way out of a situation that may not be healthy in the very early stages. That's responsible. That's maturity. You know, that's level-headedness. That's logic at work. All right. And while feelings and emotions are important, and it's important to be connected to that, it's also important to apply the logic. I call that balance. That's harmony. You know, when a person's words and their actions line up, that's harmony. When you bring in the feelings and you apply the logic together, that's harmony. That's what you want. So we must be accountable, and we must be, you know, enforcing our boundaries even in the beginning of a connection, because we're able to, you know, dodge a bullet that way sometimes. And again, it doesn't mean that you have to be nasty or you have to be mean or you even have to just ghost somebody, right? Because that's not cool to do. Like that's not all right. But we can communicate in the very early stages before we become too emotionally or physically or intimately or romantically invested with someone that this isn't a healthy situation, you know, and it's the right thing to do, you know, and your future self would thank you for that. So take that into consideration, you know, before you get too intimately or romantically or physically, emotionally invested in someone. If that's what has to happen, if you have to break clean, if you have to sever the ties, you can do so respectfully, and you can do so without necessarily looking to hurt someone's feelings. Again, breakups or breaking a tie doesn't necessarily need to be nasty or mean, but it's necessary sometimes in life. And I think that's a part of growing up. And it would be easy to think like, why am I thinking about this person? You know, why am I still craving this person after everything that they did? But it's feelings involved. It's real. It's an investment. And like I said, especially if you were physically intimate and you were connected with that person, you know, you were developing a bond. And I also want to say, and I won't touch on it too much, but I also want to say that when you are, you know, sexually or romantically, intimately connected with someone, you are developing a spiritual connection with them. Whether you had ever come to that conclusion or not, whether you operated in that way or whether you realized it, it's real. You know, when we're connecting with people physically, there is a connection and a spiritual foundation that is being laid. And that's a part of what makes it hard for you to break clean, even though you're being mistreated or the connection or relationship is hurting you. You know, you may be being cheated on. And if it's gotten, you know, perhaps physically abusive, and I choose my words carefully, and I want to be sensitive to everyone that's watching. Again, this isn't designed to be a trigger. But even if the connection that you're in is physically abusive, it is also human and completely natural for you to still miss that person and long for that person. You know, it's natural, and I don't want to make anyone or cause anyone to feel condemned about that. In a perfect world, it would be easy to just go cold turkey and walk away, block them on socials, block their number, you know, block the email, never hear from them again, never make contact with them. Like in a perfect world, you know, it's easier said than done though. So I want to give consideration in that regard and recognize that it's not that easy. You know, there's going to be people in your life that don't understand. If you have a trusted friend, family member, confidant, even a coworker, whatever the case may be, and you confide in them about the situation that you're in, and you tell them like, hey, this is a situation, like this is what I'm going through. I was in a connection with someone. If it was good in the beginning, but it took a turn and now I feel stuck, I feel lost. You know, I don't know what to do. They may not understand. If they haven't gone through it themselves, they may not understand. And, you know, they may say, oh, well, just leave. Why don't you just pack your stuff and leave? Why don't you just block them? Why don't you just end the relationship? Why don't you just get out? But it's not always that easy, you know? So I'm here as someone who's been in a toxic or narcissistic connection with someone before. And I'm telling you that I understand that it's not always that easy, but we got to fight. You know, at some point in time, we have to recognize that this relationship isn't serving us and we have to make our exit. We have to find our way out. We have to choose us. When it comes down to it, we have to protect ourselves and protect our energy and protect our peace. You know, every day in a relationship or in a connection shouldn't be a fight. You know, you shouldn't have to fight every day. There should be more good times and bad times. Yeah, there should be, you know, rocky roads. You know, there will be rocky roads. Like, I understand that completely, but every single day shouldn't be a fight and shouldn't be tugging on your life force in a way that you're not able to enjoy it. You're not feeling the love. You're not able to give love in a healthy way. You know, there's possession involved. There's jealousy involved. There's different levels of abuse, and it's not always physical. Abuse can also be mental. So I wanted to address that as well, and just make it known that I completely understand. If nobody else in your life understands, I completely understand why it may be hard for you to walk away. But I'm also here to hold myself and you accountable to say that you still have to find your way out. You still have to soul search and find your way out at the end of the day, because if it's sucking your life force, and if you find yourself in a situation where you're in danger or you're in harm's way, and it's very highly likely that if you're in a toxic relationship or if you're with a narcissist, you're in harm's way, then you have to get out. You have to save yourself at the end of the day. Any abusive connection that you're in, family member, friend, co-worker, whatever it is, you have to find your way out. You have to make your way out. You got to stay hopeful. You got to stay motivated, and you have to apply the logic and push your feelings to the side if that's what it takes in order for you to be able to save yourself and find yourself out of this negative situation. All right? But feelings are real. You know, feelings are real. And I understand that. And it's like, it's being human and being, you know, in this body and of this flesh, like it's complicated. You know, it sounds super simple, you know, when you call that friend on the phone to pour your heart out or to share yourself or just to vent, and they tell you to just up and leave. Like, it can be discouraging because it makes you just feel like nobody else understands you. And that's a part of the reason why I'm here too, because I want you to know that you are understood and that you are valued, and that, you know, your points of view are valid. But at the same time, again, you all know, like, I'm very big on accountability. You know, we can't wait on someone to just come and save us. Like, we have to do the work. Like, we have to save ourselves because we made a choice somewhere along the lines that put us in the position to be in this connection. So we have to make the choice to find our way out. And just, that's a part of the journey too. That's a part of the journey, because once you're able to find yourself through this situation and you make your way out, you get a strength from that. The self-love that comes from that, the self-worth that comes from that as you begin to heal is priceless and it's powerful. So it's important that you take that step, and it has to be you that takes that first step to say that, you know, this isn't working anymore. You know, this isn't a fit for me. This isn't enriching my life. This isn't healthy for me. This isn't healthy for my children. This isn't healthy for my quality of life. This isn't healthy for my family. I'm at danger. I'm at risk. You know? So it's important that you recognize that within yourself, and you're able to do that without beating yourself up, because that's just a waste of your energy. It's just a waste of your energy to beat yourself up and to go through the hows and the whys and the what ifs. You know, at some point in time, you know, you just got to be ready to take action on it and love yourself and give yourself grace. Like, be kind to yourself. Be as kind to yourself as you are to others. And understand that you need that same love that you're giving away to other people. The same love that you so passionately want to give to the toxic or narcissistic person in your life. It's time for you to turn that around and give that love to yourself. It's time for you to conserve that energy and give that love to yourself, because you're going to need it to be able to get over this and get through this. You know, progress, not perfection, one day at a time. You just take it one step at a time. But I'm also of the belief that it's important to unpack your feelings. It's important to connect with those feelings so that you can heal and move forward. Don't just, you know, compartmentalize them and push them to the back of your mind and never deal with them, because it'll begin to fester for you later, and it'll hinder your ability to make positive connections in the future if you don't deal with them. That's a part of what creates trauma for us, is not dealing with the things that we go through in a way that's healthy. And yes, it's going to hurt. Yes, it's going to be tough. Yes, you're going to still miss that person. You may cry. You may feel sadness. You may feel loneliness. You may even find yourself in a dark space. And definitely don't suffer in silence. Definitely, like, be your own advocate and reach out to someone that you love and trust and let them know what you're going through. You know, seek out a safe and positive space where you can, you know, find love and find good energy. Find possibly someone who has gone through similar situations, who could at least be sympathetic and empathetic to what you're going through if they haven't gone through it for themselves, right? And I know that can be hard to do because it's going to cause for you to have to, speak out about what you're dealing with, and you're going to have to be able to communicate that you want help, and that you want to connect in a way that's positive, and you want, to find your way out of a dark situation. But that's important. You don't have to do it on your own. You don't have to be alone while you go through it. And I'm hoping that you come across this content, and other creators who make content like this, so that you can find a safe space to get some information and to engage down in the comment section and to be able to share yourself. Definitely tell your truth down in the comment section, and let's love on one another, and let's allow each other to feel seen. Share what you've gone through, because you never know what you say and how you say it down in the comment section may help someone else. So definitely don't hesitate to do that. That's what we're here to do. We're about building community. All right. But I just wanted to make a video to make it known that I can understand completely how you could still feel connected to the person, even though that they've hurt you so much. Because it's like other people's feelings don't always dictate how we're going to feel within a situation, and everybody's different. We all connect differently and for different reasons, and, some of us, wear our hearts on our sleeve and we love really hard and we love really big. Whereas some of us may tend to be more reserved and we give of ourselves little by little over time, because that's the way we know how, to build a bond or to build a connection. But we're not here to judge one another or to say we should be doing this or we should be doing that from a space that lacks understanding. But, with the love, I also want to bring the accountability to let you know that you got to save yourself and that you got to find your way. You got to find your way. And I also want to mention too, I also want to say, depending on how many times you've been through the cycles, the toxic cycles, the love bomb, the devaluation, and the discard, there's a tug of war that's happening within that. Some of us were in toxic or narcissistic relationships for months. Some of us were in toxic and narcissistic relationships for years. So we can't quantify or just make a blanket statement about what someone should be able to do and what their timetable is and when they should be able to leave and how they're able to do it. We have to give grace, and we just want to love on one another, right? But it makes it harder when you've gone through those cycles. And that cycle of manipulation is designed to keep you there. It's designed to beat you down and to break you down. It's designed to weaken you and take your energy. It's designed to diminish your self-worth, so you don't know when to leave. You don't feel like you can make it without this person. That's what it's designed to do. And that's why the love bomb is so strong. That's why the devaluation is what it is. It's to tear you down. It's to tear at that belief you have in yourself. It's to eat away at that love that you have for yourself. That's the whole purpose of it. And to keep you distracted while, they're entertaining other sources of supply, and while they're, charging up elsewhere, and while they're pretending and wearing those different masks for other people. That mask that they wear is deceiving. It's deceiving and it's misleading. Breaking away from a toxic or narcissistic relationship can feel like, being under the influence of a drug, like having to recover, detox, if you will. And like I said, I'm not looking to diminish anyone's experience. If you, have experienced that, that's not what this is. Again, it's just about love and authenticity here. But sometimes it can feel like that, love and anything can be a drug in my mind. Anything. Living beyond your means can be a drug. Overeating can be a drug. Sleeping, anything in excess can be a drug. Anything. And sometimes we enter into relationships, toxic or otherwise, to escape things in our lives that we haven't dealt with. Sometimes the traumas and the things from our past, things that we've gone through, are the reason why we ended up in that relationship. We are in our own cycle, our own perpetual cycle of unhealthy and toxic relationships. And that's how you found yourself there in the first place. Like, it can get very deep, but it's never too late for you to do better about that, and that relationship could have been a high for you. That relationship could have been a drug. You could have been using that relationship, replacing one drug with another one, and they know that, and they see that in us. They study us. And when they're ready to begin that manipulation and to really turn it up and take it to another level, they use the things that we've gone through against us to weaken us, to keep us in position where they want us, taking and taking and taking from us and leaving us nothing, you know, looking to break us, looking to finish us. That's ultimately the goal, right? So that's also a part of the reason why too it's so hard to break free. Because someone who you gave so much of yourself to, this is the one time where you thought it was real this time. To feel that disappointment and to feel that hurt makes it harder sometimes to break away, because you don't have closure and you want understanding about what you went through. So there's many different reasons why you may still feel connected. I also want to say respectfully, you know, that physical intimacy, that might have been one of the only times that you really felt connected to, for better or for worse. That might have been the only time that you felt connected to or even seen or loved by the toxic or narcissistic person that you were with. That's when they, you know, express themselves in a way that may have made you feel like it was real. That made you feel like, okay, there's really passion here, there's feeling here, there's something here. Because you found that aspect of your connection with that person to be enjoyable. It makes it harder to break free. You know, we all have different levels as far as our need for that and our libido. Like it means, it has a different meaning for all of us, right? And for some of us, you know, the physical intimacy, the physical aspect of relationship is a lot of where, you know, you draw energy, or it's where you can be vulnerable and where you can share of yourself. It's one of the ways where you can really see and feel how the other person feels about you, or at least your perception of that. And they're aware of that. And they use that physical intimacy and that connection against us sometimes, which is why, depending on the nature of your relationship, it seems like sometimes they're willing to give you that, and then they take it away. They give you that physical intimacy and then they take it away. They give you that physical connection and then they take it away. That's a part of they use that. They use that as a weapon against you. So, because that's one of the main times when there's a connection, when you really feel seen by them, and you can feel their touch, and you feel that closeness, it can make it hard. It can make it harder to break free. It can make it difficult. That's, like I said, when you really felt the connection the most. And they know that, and they use that. All right. So I just want you to know, like I said, that you're not alone in that. You're valid in your feelings, and I definitely want you to feel comfortable enough to share yourself down in the comment section. And never hesitate to reach out. Never hesitate to reach out. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you want to expand on the conversation, yeah, definitely reach out to me. AskBizLifestyle@gmail.com. Definitely shoot me an email, and I'll go ahead and throw it up on the screen, as always. Reach out to me on Instagram, where the XIIXII, all lowercase letters. Don't hesitate to reach out to me. And I want you all to know that I'm grateful that you all give me a safe space to be able to share myself. This one wasn't necessarily the most comfortable or the easiest to make, just because of the things that we've been through. You know, we are all, you know, on a journey, and we are all in different phases and different spaces within that healing journey. So it was important for me to make this video, to reach out, just so you would know that you weren't alone in that, and that it's natural, even though the other people around you who have never gone through it may not necessarily understand how you could possibly still be craving someone that hurt you. I wanted you to know that, you know, you were seen and felt and heard about that, you know, and you don't necessarily have to go through that by yourself. And I thank you again for providing an opportunity for me to share myself. You know, check the links in the description. I'll provide some information from there. Some other creators who are making content who would help you, who have helped me on my healing journey. As always, you can check the About page on YouTube for all the different links to my socials, ways to connect to me, my P.O. box. Feel free, if you want to make a small donation to the channel, Cash App, PayPal is there. Also, in the comment section, you'll see a tiny heart there within the comment section with a $sign. And if you want to make a small donation to the channel, you can definitely do that. Nothing is too small, nothing is too big. Like, I definitely do appreciate that. and it doesn't go unnoticed. Thank you to everyone who's ever, you know, made a contribution to the channel. I definitely do appreciate that, and that's not the reason that I do it. I'm gonna continue to make the content regardless because it's therapeutic for me. It's healing for me. But I definitely do appreciate it. So if you see fit to do so, hit that heart, you know, and pick up a super thanks. But I'm here for you all, and it won't be very long. I want you to know that I believe in you. So you definitely be sure to do the same. All right, it won't be long. But until next time, we out.